Hello everybody, a bit of a delay with this one. I've had to film it a couple of times because I was working away and I filmed it while I was away and I just kept going way too long, and I want to try and keep them to decent sizes. 10 minutes was already too long and it was going over. So I am going to split this one into two. So first off, apologies to all the screening centres for the masses of bookings you are hopefully getting now, which is pretty awesome. I've had some wicked feedback from these videos, so I really appreciate it. Secondly, although I'm here talking about my stage 3 cervical cancer I had, doesn't mean to go that other cancers should be gone unnoticed. So my family has a strong history of prostate cancer, including my granddad, my dad, my uncles. So this is a friendly reminder for you lads to look after yourselves too and get whatever checks you need. So just everybody, whatever gender you are, just do whatever checks you need. But yeah, so I was going to do the chemo and radio journey on this one, but I am going to have to split that up because it was just becoming too long. So we did the IVF journey. So last we heard from the IVF and there was this cyst found. So this cyst was pretty big. It was 6 centimeters by 5 by 4, I think. And it was pretty painful where it was. Not only was it obstructing the ovary from the IVF that time, it was also pushing on some other bits and bobs and just causing a few complications with like digestive systems and stuff. So we needed to get things underway before we started the chemo and radio. But we also didn't want to operate again, which I was very happy about because I'd only just started like showering myself, going to the bathroom myself, walking and stuff like that. So I was more than happy that we wasn't having surgery. Unfortunately, I had gained a lot of weight as it was, and now my belly was looking even bigger and bloated from all the things I just listed. So which led to a few difficult conversations. Every time I went out, people would ask me when I was due. I mean, who says that to anybody anyway? But it was particularly heartbreaking knowing obviously what I was going through and that it was so far from the truth. That really hurt me. I remember this one time, I think I was at like Chatsworth House or Hallam Hall or somewhere, and this old lady like pretty much insisted that I was pregnant, and I was like, no, I'm not. And she's like, oh well, you definitely are. And I'm like, no, I can't possibly be. She's like, yeah, you need to get that checked. And I remember kind of snapping a little bit. She wasn't old, but I remember snapping and just saying, like, I can't possibly be pregnant because I'm going through cancer treatment. I've just had a hysterectomy actually, like, and I was like, ooh. And honestly, to this day, that still hurts my heart that I did that, because I probably really ruined her day. I mean, she ruined mine too, but that doesn't make it right. So yeah, always be careful when you ask somebody when the baby's due. Just don't do it. You never know what someone's going through. Yeah, so that was pretty difficult. But anyway, we started the prep for the radio and chemo that was going to start happening in the September. So I went to get 4 new tattoos, not the kind of tattoos I'm used to getting. I had like one here, one here, one here, one here. I'd had lots more scans and things like that. You know, somewhere in my Oasis shirt. Oasis was a real big part of my cancer journey. I'll talk a little bit more about them later on, but I will tell you that I had to make a playlist for my appointments, so I didn't have to listen to the machines. I didn't have to, but otherwise you got to listen to their music, which, you know. But I didn't want to ruin any of my favourite songs, like, that come on and would bring back the memories, but I knew Oasis would give me a kick in the butt or a bit of a slap if I needed to. So that's why I chose them, and I listened to Oasis for every single appointment I went to, on the way there, on the way back, and during the appointments. And I was known throughout the hospital as the chick that was listening to Oasis. So yeah, it's not even intentional that I've been wearing Oasis shit, so I've been telling this story. It's just that's half of my wardrobe. But yeah. Still gone off track there. So yeah, that was pretty much the radio prep, and then I'd have like a mock run in the machine. The chemo prep, however, was much different. I had to learn a lot about what I could and couldn't do, or what I could limit and how things would go. I couldn't be sick. If I was sick, that would result in hospital stay, and we wanted me to go home. So my treatment was going to consist of 5 rounds of chemotherapy. So 5 days of chemotherapy. Every Monday would be chemotherapy. And then 25 rounds of radio. So Monday to Friday would be radio. And then after that, I would have 3 or 4 rounds of brachy. I can't remember, I need to refresh my brain on that. After all that. So yeah, it was pretty intense. I could drive myself to the radio appointments, which was cool, but I couldn't drive myself to chemo. But yeah, so my house had to be immaculate. There were certain foods I had to avoid, certain products I couldn't use, certain places I should try and avoid, and a bit like I suppose maybe like what a pregnant lady could, the irony, a pregnant lady could eat and not eat, and like, you know, but I had to like try and keep away from takeaways and things like that. So yeah, little old piglet here, special shout out, he came to every single appointment with me, still got him now, Pablo's new friend. But yeah, the cyst did turn out harmless anyway. It was just a pain in the butt, and it was actually painful. Let me say. Oh, that was another one. So the chemo I would be having was called cisplatin. I think that's how you say it. I'm not a doctor. And I found out I wasn't gonna lose my hair, which I was so happy about. I can't even tell you how happy I was. My friend though had just shaved her hair off for charity, so I had to tell her that I wasn't gonna lose my hair, but she was more than happy, and she was rocking the Schneider, kind of looked greatly anyway, and raised a lot of money, so good on her. So we just, yeah, started the prep for the chemo and the radio. So I'm going to leave it at that, and we'll talk a little bit more about what happened during the chemo and radio in the next one, because otherwise it was just going to go on way too long. So just an extra reminder for whoever is watching this, definitely do book your screenings in, but just whatever screening it is that you need to get, just go follow it up, because my family has lots of history of cancer, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other families do too. So there's services out there to use them, please. Because I know if I'd have sat in a doctor's and saw a poster with my symptoms on, or maybe social media was happening then, but like there weren't as many groups and stuff, I don't think. If I'd have seen like an advert or something with my symptoms on, the penny would have dropped for me, and I would have forced myself to probably get checked out for, well, I was getting checked out, it just wasn't picked up, it was covered up, but I definitely would have pushed a little bit harder. We know our own bodies, so trust your own judgment with that. And thanks again.